You know, when the words, "this too shall pass," were written, they were never written for you to wait. This too shall pass was meant for you to go on the attack. Today, episode 634 of The Sales Life, we're going to get you out of that victim mentality and we're going to go on the attack. Stay tuned. DJ, done with the scratching. Welcome to another episode of The Sales Life. I am your host, Marsh Buice, and The Sales Life is not just for those in the sales profession. Don't let the name fool you. The Sales Life is for those who are building the life skills of selling, because we make a living by profession, but you make a life by selling. We take the skills that we learn by the profession, skills of what I call the 9 C's. And the 9 C's are communication, connection, curiosity, creativity, consistency, continuous learning, being coachable, handling the criticism, and also courage. See, these are skills that you already have access to, but you don't fully ignite those things. But you have to have those skills to apply to your personal life as well. Because if you want the promotion, if you want the job, if you want the dream relationship, if you're tired of the address that you're living at, if you want your bank account to get larger, if you're trying to dig yourself out of the mud, every single one of those require the skills of selling. So today's episode of the 9 C's are going to deal with criticism, courage, and continuous learning. If you need help in any of those, if you could use a little freshen up or any of those, well, stick around. If none of those apply, then go ahead and turn off the no, I'm just kidding. Stick around, man. I'm telling you, you're going to get something out of it. So I want to skim the book real quick. This comes from Dr. Jason Selk's book, Relentless Solution Focus. And I've been reading. Normally, I try to get through a book in about a week and a half. And this book, it just really slowed me down because it's one of those books I really didn't want to power through. Chapter 5 is one of my favorite sections of the book, because Dr. Selk talks about the attack mentality versus a victim mentality. And he writes, a pattern that I've seen in highly successful people is what I refer to as the attack mentality. When you have the attack mentality, it always means that you have that one thing that you're trying to improve on. When you have an attack mentality, it's not that you're trying to improve everything all the time, but you have that consistency. You're constantly working on this one thing, and you're trying to improve this one thing just this little bit, and you're relentless about it. No one should ever be able to walk up to you and say, "Hey, dude, what you doing?" And you say, "Nothing." That should never happen. They actually ought to walk up to you and they say, "Hey, what you doing?" And you say, "I'm about to go on the attack." And they look around and your eyes are all big and they say, "Bro, you about to knock Jeff out?" You're like, "No, I'm attacking life. I'm attacking my situation. I'm attacking sales. I'm attacking my promotion. I'm attacking my health." Whatever it is that it is. See, you got to get out of this victim mentality. And the victim mentality is where we zoom way up. We go macro, and macro means it's the overall picture. And many times we're looking at the totality of life. We're taking stock in everything that's happened in our life. And we take stock in how far we have to go. And we look at the entirety of it all. And we feel like a victim. This is where we get hung up on the phrase, "this too shall pass." See, people that use "this too shall pass" with a victim mindset, mentality, you're going to forever stay stuck. Because the words "this too shall pass" are a reason to take action, not an excuse to give up. What I like about an attack mentality, when you have an attack mentality, number one, you drill it down to just one thing. You don't have to have this grand scheme. You don't have to have this big 50-year goal. Somebody's got to come. You don't have to even hire anybody to do it. When you have an attack mentality, You're just picking one thing in front of you, whatever it is, and you attack that one thing. And even if I walk away from it, even if it doesn't end in the grand plan, the whole thing reaches its tipping point and tips over. It don't matter. I attack that one thing. And if I can walk away from it and I improved it just a little bit, that's a win. And I'm relentless because I come back to it again and again. I'm constantly on the attack move, not the acceptance reality. I'm not going to accept that. No. See, if I'm breathing, if I'm not restrained, then I'm always in the game. You always have an option. There's always a solution. And many times with a victim mentality, and that's what he talks about in this book, is many times we get focused on the problems when there's always a solution. But see, you don't see the solution because all you do is you look at the problem. And all you do is you focus on the problem. And all you do is you get more problems. Why? Because that's all you're doing is. And I just talked about this on the Sales Life on Sales Edition. Go cross over and listen to that one, man. That's the one with the orange logo. And it was the ability to be able to recover. Episode 19. You know, when you're starting a new podcast, and here we are, episode 634, it's a little sobering when you say, welcome to episode 19. It's like, but I like it. I like the challenge of it because now I got to build that one up too. But go and listen to that one because I thought that I'd lost my confidence. I didn't lose my confidence. I lost my belief in my ability to recover. So I stopped walking into my day attack mode. I was in a victim mode. And so I was just hoping things would change. When you have a victim mentality and you use the words, this too shall pass, then what you're doing is you're hoping someone or something rescues you. You're waiting instead of working. And the problem with when you have a victim mindset of this too shall pass, if you're waiting, you've got no skin in the game. You've got no investment. You're not doing anything. You're sitting there on the bench waiting for someone to swoop by and pick you up. But when you're in attack mode, you attack it. You're all over it. And even if it's wrong, it's not wrong because there are no mistakes. There are no mistakes because even if it doesn't come out the way that you anticipated it to, it gives me the ability to increase the frequency, the intensity, to reconnect, to look at where the disconnects were, where I went wrong. See, if I won every single time, then I never learn. It's in the losses that you learn. And it's in the losses where it causes you to smash your ego, to realize you're not as good as you think you were, that you're not as advanced as you think you are. And you have to look at those situations and come at it again and attack it. You've got to realize that you've got to go through hard. You've got to, when you're in the attack, that means that you're going to come up against impossible situations. That means that you're going to come up where you have no other options, where you had no other choices. But the fact that you had no other choices and you kept attacking the thing is the very thing that's going to make you successful. Because I'm relentless about being on the attack. Because, see, if you had this victim mentality and this too shall pass, and you're waiting for someone or something to come by and help you, you're going to be worse off. And let me tell you why. You're going to be worse off because you waited for someone else instead of working. And you didn't get the chance to figure it out. You didn't get the chance to be resourceful when you had no resources. You didn't get the chance to rely on yourself when there was no one else to rely on. You didn't get the chance to find the spark when everything else was dark. And because you have no skin in the game, and you have this victim mentality, this too shall pass, and I'm just going to sit here and wait for something to come along, you're going to be worse off. And the reason why you're going to be worse off, because you didn't develop the skills you needed to come back, to attack. So you're always going to stay weak. You're always going to be reliant. Are you tired of always someone having to bail you out, to pick you up, to pull you up, to give you the nod, to give you the raise, to write a check, to bail you out? If you're tired of all that, then you've got to go on the attack. And you attack it by one thing. Just one, not all, just one. Your work is an expression of your faith. Because, see, it is written, this too shall pass. But it was an expression for you to go on the attack. Because it's also written that faith without works is dead. So that means that you have to be patient while you work. You trust that if I'm on the attack, if I attack this one thing, I don't worry about everything else. I don't worry about how it's going to shake out. I just attack the one thing. What's the one thing that's sitting right there in front of you? Just attack it. In whatever area that is just, it's just got your skin crawling. It just pisses you off. It causes you to crack one too many beers. What's the thing that you say, pick one, not all? I know there's a lot of layers to it. Just pick one and go on the attack. I know you want the results, but the only thing you need right now is picking that one. Think about a lion. A lion has an attack mode, right? I mean, we've watched plenty of motivational videos that talk about the lion. But see, the lion, he looks at the herd, but he picks the one. And you ever watch one of those National Geographic videos and you see the lion running after the herd? And as he was running, he had his focus on this one. But the second he looked off and he saw another one, he didn't know which one to go after. And he lost his footing in fractions of a second. In a true lion, a great hunter, they look at the herd, but they pick the one and they go after it. And even if they miss, they learn how to become a better hunter. Because in the misses are where the lessons are. And when you're on the attack, don't worry about, oh, Marsh, what if I get it wrong? What if it don't work? I hope it don't work, because it means you're not ready. That's good. Because if you stuck the bullseye after one try, if you cross the threshold of what success looks like to you, it would totally crush you, because you haven't built up the strength or the resistance or the attack to be able to withstand it. See, it's one thing to be successful. It's another thing to be able to sustain the success. And you can't sustain success because you're not on the attack. You slide back into that victim mindset. And that's what I love about this book. Relentless Solution Focus is all about picking the one thing. What's the one thing I can do that will make this situation better? Just one. One. You box it down to one thing. You know, it reminds me of the legendary skater, Tony Hawk. And Tony Hawk, I grew up loving Tony. I never could drop in on the ramps, the skateboard ramps. I wish I could, but I couldn't do it. And one thing I love about Tony Hawk was on his rise when he was a nobody and skating was in its infancy. He learned to skate on the worst ramps there were. And the ramps would be way up high. And they were built poorly because it was all scrapped together. They didn't have the money, the support, the sponsors to build what you see today. And so where all of the so-called pros, it was too wobbly. It looked too dangerous. And they backed off. Tony Hawk pushed forward a nobody, and said, move, I'll skate it. And he skated it. Did he bust teeth out of his mouth? Yeah. Did he break bones? Yeah. Last time I checked, Tony Hawk's damn successful. Because even in the misses, he learned how to do it better. And it was the subtle nuances that if you can take a dire situation and you can jump into it, even though it's not perfect, even though you're at the risk of looking crazy and stupid and foolish, why would you do this? Why not? See, one thing I didn't say on episode 19, but I was thinking about it today. I finished dead last 2 months in a row in sales, and I talked about that. Great lessons. But one thing I didn't take stock in is one reason why I finished last is because I took on a new area that nobody wanted to take on, a new department, and building it from scrap means I have to suck. And I'm willing to look foolish. I'm willing to look stupid. I'm willing for my stats to go down so my success will rise, because they ain't going to stay down. Because see, every single day, I'm going to attack the thing that's right there in front of me. What's the one thing I'm going to attack? And that's what you got to do. Keep it simple. We make life way too damn complex. And we make it too complex because we're looking at everything. I did that with the podcast. Recently, I did that until I read this book. And I was looking at it and listening to like Jordan Harbinger. He makes millions of dollars a year. And I got to feeling sorry for myself. And I said, man, if I would have got in earlier, if I had the sponsors he had, I mean, he sits at home and just lines up interviews all day. That's what I want to do. He attacks it. And what I realized, see, I was sliding in that victim mindset. I was coming at the podcast with a victim mindset, meaning that when I post it, I'm going to post it. Not going to do that anymore. Wednesday, the sales life, the mothership comes out with an edition, video and podcast. And on Monday, the Sales Life Sales Edition comes out. You can best believe it's going to be in your queue. And if I change it, I'm going to let you know. But if I want to be a pro, and I want to be a pro in the podcast realm, then I've got to attack it like a pro. And not just slide into it and just create a little art. No. What's the message you want to bring? The message I want to bring to you today is you got to get on the attack. It's exactly what I want you to do. You got to have this victim BS mindset. And we're all susceptible to it. And when we start rationalizing, we start pointing the finger, we don't own our mess, it's when you get into it. So if you're lackluster in sales, attack the damn phone. Attack the product knowledge. If you're overweight, attack your health. But not all of it. Not all 100 pounds of it. You didn't get there overnight. What's the one thing? Probably go to bed earlier so you won't stay up late and eat. And then you need to rise. And you need to bust a sweat before you go to work. Attack that. One thing. I don't worry about the end result. I don't worry about when. That's not my concern. I attack it now. Whatever it is in your life, you're deaded up. Attack it. What's one thing? That's what debt reduction is. Attack the biggest thing. They tell you attack it, win it, then go to the next thing. And that's what I need you to do. What's the one thing, man, you're going to attack on today? I had show notes, man, that I was going to post on here, and I never even got to it because I just got to rolling. Leave your comments, man. What's the one thing that you're going to attack? I want to hear from you. Step up. Attack. Step up in your own life. Don't wait for anybody else to bail you out. Don't wait for somebody else to die so you can get the promotion. You give yourself a promotion. You sell yourself on you because you're more than enough. You got everything that you need in the tank. You just need to ignite it, and you need to give yourself credit more. And damn it, this too shall pass. means that you go to work, you go on the attack, and stop waiting. Remember, the greatest sale that you will ever make is the sale you on you, because you're more than enough. Stay amazing. Stay in the sales life.